Let's talk about gun lube. Hey everyone, Dylan Schumacher, Citadel Defense, and today we are here to talk about gun jelly. Feeds guns, not people. This is I'm going to say proprietary, although that's not really the right word. Maybe I should say secret formula, a blend of lubricants. This is gun lube. That's what this is. And I have been working on this for a while now. Tested out with a bunch of different people in a bunch of different conditions, and today I'm happy to bring to you gun jelly. So let's talk about it. So I call it gun jelly because it's just got this kind of red-like color, and it looks like jelly, and so that's where it gets the name. So gun jelly is basically a gun lube. Let's not overcomplicate this. And in my experience, in general, I have not really been able to tell the difference from one gun lube to another. They all just kind of generally seem the same, and I've always, in my years of shooting, have just kind of slapped whatever on, and it just seems to kind of work in general, and they all kind of work about the same. So what really makes this different? Why even bother? And let me tell you why. So the first use case I ran into that really necessitated a better lubricant was this. This is our binary gun. This is a 20-inch upper, rifle length gas. I just added a rifle length buffer on it. Usually we run it suppressed with a can on it. And when we first brought this gun out and ran it with just normal oil, we burned all the oil off, right? We were running drills. We ran the gun pretty hard, but we burned all the oil off and the gun seized up. We had to kickstart it to get the gun to cycle again. And we were just fighting the gun to get it to function. And so one of the ways that we solved that problem was by better lubricant, hence gun jelly. Gun jelly, like I said, it's just a blend of lubricants. This isn't super anything complicated. Think about it like Coca-Cola's formula, right? It's nothing super complicated, but you don't know what the formula is, and that's kind of the whole point. And so that's really what gun jelly is. It's a lubricant for hard working guns. Or when we start talking about shorter guns like 10.5, 11.5, whatever, and suppressed, right? And you're dumping the big problem with ARs, I should say problem, right? But that it's dumping all that gas, right, back into the chamber. It kind of poops where it eats, as they say. And that's part of the problem, why they get so dirty. When you run them suppressed, they get even dirtier, right? They get filthy. And they, therefore, are going to gunk up the bolt more, or I should say, the bolt will be dirtier quicker. And if you don't have good lube in there, that's going to slow your gun down faster, right? So, again, that's where we look at gun jelly. Now, like I said, I've tested out with a bunch of different people in a bunch of different conditions. I've put it in the freezer. I've done a ton of stuff to it, and it maintains viscosity. This gun, for example, we're going to pull the bolt on this right now because this just came from a hard session, and we're going to take a look at it. One of the other things that's really great about the gun jelly is that it maintains its viscosity when it gets cold. So I've put this in the freezer overnight. I've run this out in cold conditions, and it still maintains its viscosity, right? So it's still going to flow and move similar to oil, right? It's not going to just bind up and freeze like, if you just only put grease on a gun, right? It's going to freeze hard. This will not do that. This will not freeze. It will not harden under cold conditions. And again, I live in the north. And when I say cold, right, I'm talking single digits and below, right? We in the north here, we understand what cold is. My southern boys, I'm sorry, you just don't know yet. But that being said, it's going to hold up when it's cold, right? It's obviously going to do just fine when it's hot. It maintains its viscosity and its lubricating abilities under a variety of different conditions. And that's where I found a lot of success with this lube. So this bolt, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but I hope you can see that. It's still pretty wet, right? Like it's still pretty dirty. You can even see that the lube is still pretty wet on it. It's still good for quite a bit. And it still runs great. It still runs butter smooth, right? So when I lube these guns, we're just gonna wipe this off here and we're just gonna give it some fresh lube for our fancy video. So as you can see, it wipes off pretty easy, which is, again, one of the things I like about it. It's pretty easy cleanup, and it does do a good job of capturing most of the gunk so that once you wipe it off, it's actually pretty clean. Now, when it comes to lubing these things, I'm super simple, right? I'm just gonna take some of the lube and I'm just gonna dab it on the gun. I like to use a gloved hand, but hey, you do whatever it is for you. And I'm just gonna simply soak that bolt carrier group, right? Again, I know everyone's got their own thing about how they lube bolts and whatever, but that's basically it. You rub that on the bolt like that. If you want to wipe off your excess, whatever, you stick that in your gun, which is what I'm going to do right now, and the gun is going to run fine. So I've had a lot of success with the gun jelly. I hope that you enjoy it and have as much success as I do. I will say, when we're talking about main workhorse parts, bolt carrier groups, AKs, ARs, 308s, whatever, that's where this lube really shines, is under those hard conditions when you're really running the gun and they're suppressed and you're working them rat-tat-tatting because you're a boss and you like to shoot fast. That's where this lube holds up and is going to shine over and above other lubes that I've found. So I hope that you find gun jelly useful, and I hope that you add it to your collection. I'll leave a link down in the description, and like I said, I hope that it becomes your new favorite lubricant. Do brave deeds and endure.